Now what you're looking at is one of the Boston butts that we have. They come with a heavy skin, a heavy fat over the top, and then when you look at the opposite side, you'll see that there's a lot of lean on the Boston butts. The one that Jasmine has there has not been trimmed yet. Now you look at the one that David has here, and you see where the fat has been trimmed away. And then down at the one side, you'll see where it has a bone. Usually I'll take a whole butt and cut the butt in half after the fat has been cut away, and then place it on the grill. That makes for a shorter cook time, and actually you have two pieces of meat. The reason for cutting the fat away is so that the seasoning will season all the way around. I'm not interested in eating a lot of fat. Mostly I'm looking for the lean meat. One reason why I favor the Boston butt more is because versus the rib is because the Boston butt has more meat on it and less bone. You're paying for more meat and less bone. You're eating more meat and less bone. So therefore the Boston butt is a good tasting meat also. Actually, I said it comes from the front upper shoulder of the hog. The meat that I usually pick is a Swift brand Boston butts, which actually has less fat. I don't know for what reason. Whoever the grower of the hogs are has less fat on there. I'll be back with you in a minute. Now you see the Boston butt after it has been trimmed. We have the fat laying over there. It's about 1.5 inches of fat. It's heavy in fat, has some lean in there. A lot of times we take that extra meat and with the fat on it and just cook it down for the dogs, or we'll save that and put that in the venison during the winter time when we harvest a deer. We'll grind the fat up, a portion of fat up with the lean venison, and it causes it to cook better, plus it flavors it, gives it good flavor. You see where Jasmine has just trimmed some of the fat off. It has a little bit of lean in it, and that helps in the venison also. But that's what we have. All right, now all the meat is ready to go to the grill. We usually lay the meat on the grill, the fat side down, in order for the fat to roll on off as it heats up. Right now David is putting the meat on the grill that we have left. As you see, we already have some on the grill, and we have the fat that was trimmed off the meat on the grill. We usually cook that down for the dogs. They enjoy barbecued Boston butt also. They just don't get the real thing. Alright, let's move around the back and take a look and see what it looks like on the fire. See how the fire is doing on the meat. Right now we're getting ready to peel a few onions and slice them up for the to go on the meat. After we cook the meat for several hours, we'll take and wrap the meat in aluminum foil, the Boston butts, and then we're going to take and put some onions in there to help put the flavor of the juice of the onion down into the meat. Now we have our temperature back down at a nice simmering temperature. Looks like it's about 312, somewhere along in there. It's a good temperature. We'll go cook there for a while. Boston butts been cooking for a couple hours at about 350, 312. Temperature is it went up to 400 at one time, and then it came back down. They're looking pretty good. You can kind of see where the meat is starting to draw up on the bone. I like it when the meat starts to draw up on the bone. May have been about 3 hours totally. Okay, we're checking the other side. It's looking pretty good. Everything's looking good right now. We're going to push it back in and let it finish doing its dripping. Let the meat cook down. The fat is cooking off real good. Starting to draw up on the bone a little bit. My. That is some good looking meat. We'll talk back with you later. Right now I think we're going to go and check the fire and see what we can do with it. The fire's burning down pretty good. Burning just right. And let David rake it a little bit. Right now these gorgeous Boston butts have been cooking for a while. We decided we'll just take and open up and take a peek and see what they're looking like. And just got the fat just bubbling up out of them. And I think we're going to go ahead now and put a few onions on them and wrap them up. Meat looking nice and tasty. Man, take another look at these gorgeous Boston butts. They're just a dripping and mouth-watery, and they are good too. Well, it's just about time to wrap them. Put a few onions on them and let them marinate in that onion juice for a while. All right, we'll talk to you in a minute. At this point, we're taking the Boston butts and wrapping them in aluminum foil, placing the onions on top, getting ready for a good meal.